Good evening. Tonight I will be doing my presentation on aggression by Theodore Dixon. What is aggression? According to Cassie, although there are numerous ways one can define aggression, the definition that best represents the research today is that aggression is behavior that is intended to harm another individual. Aggression behaviors come in many forms. Two categories of aggression is proactive aggression and reactive aggression. Proactive aggression is aggression behavior whereby harm is inflicted as a means to a desired end, also called instrumental aggression. Reactive aggression behaviors where the means and the end coincide. Harm is inflicted for its own sake. Culture, gender, and individuals. Comparisons across societies. In the United States have enjoyed recent dramatic decreases in its rates of violent crimes, but it continues to be an exceptionally violent country. Its murder rate is one of the highest among politically stable industrial nations, far worse than the rates of Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and much of Western Europe. However, murder rates tend to be much higher in Central and South America, the Caribbean, and Southern and Middle Africa than in other regions in the world. United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime in 2011. A variety of factors contribute to this tendency, including poverty, drug trafficking, availability of guns, political and social arrests, and so on. Origins of aggression. Aggression has been a prevalent part of human interaction throughout the human history and around the world. It is not surprisingly that many have speculated about the origins of aggression. Number one, where does aggression come from? Number two, are we born aggressive? Or are we taught to be aggressive? Many have argued for one side or the other of the nature or nurture debate. The nature side holding that aggression is an innate characteristic of human beings, and the nurture side holding that aggression is learned through experience. Evolutionary psychology. Evolutionary should have been favored the inhibition of aggression against those who are genetically related to us, consistent with the hypotheses Martin Daly and Morgan Woodson, 1996 and 2005, report that birth parents are much less likely to abuse or murder their own offspring than step-parents are to harm their stepchildren. In two samples studied, preschool children living in a step-parent or foster parent were 70 to 100 times more likely to be fatally abused than were children living with both biological parents. What can account for the gender differences in overt aggression? According to evolutionary perspective, males are competitive with each other because females select high status for mating, and aggression is means by which males were able to achieve and maintain status. Boson, 2013, argued that for many men, manhood is a status that is precarious. In other words, it must be earned and maintained repeatedly through action. Situations that threaten this status increase the likelihood and acceptability of aggression behavior. Cropper, 2014, and Mesher, Rudin, 2014, Readily, 2014. Sarah Ainsworth and John Maynard, 2014, hypothesized that when heterosexual men's motivation about mating are activated, they should become more aggressive toward other men whom they consider to be a potential threat to their ability to attract women. The frustration aggression hypothesis. The frustration aggressive hypothesis. The idea that one, frustration always elicits the motive to aggress, and two, all aggression is caused by frustration. Displace aggressing against a substitute target because aggressive acts against the source of the frustration are inhibited by fear or lack of access. The frustration aggression hypothesis does the evidence support. First, aggression reduces the level of psychological arousal. And second, because arousal is reduced, people are less angry and less likely to aggress further. It sounds logical, and many people believe it. Negative effect. Berkowitz proposed that frustration is but one of many unpleasant experiences that can lead to aggression by creating a negative, uncomfortable feelings. It is these negative feelings and not the frustration itself that can trigger aggression. A wide variety of noxious stimuli, bad feelings can create negative feelings and increase aggression. Noise, crowding, physical pain, threaten, self-esteem, feelings of jealousy, social rejection, bad odors, and other favorite team losing a big game. Reducing aggression and violence. The lack of empathy similarly contributes greatly to numerous forms of aggression and violence, including bullying, sexual assault, and abuse of animals. Buzzy, 2015, and Day, 2010, and Manchi, 2015, Shorts, 2012. Improving education and moral reasoning is likely to improve empathy. Improved moral reasoning is one part of the formula behind what is known as aggression replacement training. The other two components are social competence training and aggressive control. These themes are taught with guided instructions and role-playing, typically over the course of twice weekly sections for 10 weeks. My references is Cassie, Social Psychology, the 10th edition, 2017. My two questions I pose to everyone is, what is considered to be aggression and unacceptable in relations to children also can differ across cultures. My second question is, what form of aggression is prevalent across all cultures? I thank you for listening, and good night.